Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this consultation series. We're going to give you all kinds of tips and tricks for effectively and properly lighting up your home. If you want to get your free consultation, just shoot me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca. Send me a few pictures and we'll give you a video presentation of what lights are going to work best with your property, or go and visit us at lightingdoctor.ca or go check out all our videos on YouTube.
Hi Mabel, thanks for sending the pictures in here. Yeah, I'll show you some ideas that I would definitely do. I think you got a great yard for it. Looks like you already have some landscape lighting in. So what I would start with is, I'm going to start with these pictures here. So for this area here, there's kind of two ways you can do it. The easier way to do it, and which most people would do, is they would just put some path lights. So some guys like these here. And you can space these in an area like that, I'd say 10-12 feet apart, so you don't need a whole lot of them. So maybe like 3, maybe 4 at the most. The only thing and they will look good. They'll do a good job of lighting this, and you'll get a little bit of light on here. My preference to light an area like this would actually be to use some flat lights like this. This little back section actually comes off, and you can bolt these right to the top of the fence. And a lot of times what I do is we'll screw them just with some short wood screws. We'll screw them right underneath this top panel here, and it does a really good job of hiding them. Realistically, you're the only one who's going to know they're there, and at night it does a great job of lighting up all down below and this whole walkway area. And it's really easy to hide the wire. I just with a staple gun, I usually staple the wire up kind of in the corner and down. And again, really, you're the only one who's going to notice it's there. And sometimes if you want to hide it just a little bit better, you just paint over that with some white paint, and you won't even know that wire's there. And then you make all your connections in the ground. All those lights have I believe it's a 10-foot lead. So you have more than enough to run it down here, make your connection, run all your wire down in the ground, and then you just come up and you mount that one. It's a little bit more work to do that just because you got to staple the wire, but it's still super easy to do, and it looks really good in an area like that. So that's what I would suggest for this area for sure, is no more than 3 of those guys. On any areas like this, especially where you have a white background or white fence, I like the idea of perimeter lighting. So rather than just having some path lights in here that kind of light this bed, I want to highlight these trees, but I want to make them, or these shrubs, and I want to make them look a little bit bigger and use some of the reflective light from the white fence. So in an area like this, what I would use, because they're not super high, you don't need a super bright light, I would just use some wash lights like these guys. Very similar to an uplight, it's just it's got a wider spread on it, so it's a little bit wider of an angle, and it's a softer light, which is perfect for an area like this. That area too, but we'll start with this. So what I would do is I would probably have maybe 1, 2, and 3 of those kind of here, lighting up these shrubs, but then kind of shining through it and casting shadows back on the white fence, because what that does too is it makes these look bigger than they actually are at night. And because it's a white fence, you get a lot of reflective light back down, so it almost doubles as kind of what a path and garden light would do. But instead of just lighting down below, you're creating some cool shadowing effects and getting a lot of reflective light off here. So that's what I would do in this area, and then I would do the same over here. I would use those same lights, and it's not as important that you are lighting up a certain tree or anything with them, more so that you just get even spacing. So whether it's 3 or whether it's 4 of those lights, it's just, you're just trying to get them evenly spaced. So you might throw 1 in here, and then 1 in here, and then 1 in here. So you're just kind of spacing them evenly throughout is the best way to get the natural light. And same thing, these become a little bit bigger because you can even see during the daytime how you get those shadows. Well, now you're going to get that at night, so they look a little bit bigger, and you get a lot of reflective light off here, so that as you're planting or shrubs down here and all these flowers, they're going to get some of that reflective light back down as well. And then you don't have these path lights, for example, standing up, that, if you're walking by, you might see some of that glare from those. It's a lot better way to do that with like 3 wash lights. So 3 on each side would be ideal. And then in an area like this is where a path and garden light is perfect. There's not really anything to backlight. These aren't super high. I wouldn't necessarily say you need to accent them, because I don't think you have enough room. So what I would do is maybe just throw 2 path and garden lights kind of in here whether they're here and here. And same thing, it's more important that you just kind of, however many you decide, whether it's just one or whether it's two, that you just kind of try and space those as evenly as possible in a section like this. So I would throw 2 of those there, and then I would throw just an uplight, just a guy like this on a tree like this. And the reason I would use that kind of light as opposed to like a wash light is just because it's not as wide of a tree, and as this grows a little bit higher, it's going to be a little bit more of an accented feature with that slightly brighter, sharper angle light. So I would definitely highlight that. And the thing to keep in mind is just whatever your viewing angle is. Obviously, you're going to get the effect of that light from wherever you are on this patio area, but if you want it to look best looking out from the house here, you're going to place it kind of on this side and have it kind of shining straight up. If you want it to kind of look really good over here from this angle, then I would place it more on this side, kind of at the base. But that being said, because you have kind of these hardscape lights in here, I would probably try and almost angle it this way, not too far back, just right in here, and kind of angle it that way and highlight that one. So you got a good balance between some down lighting here and then some up lighting, and then you've got the nice rock feature here lit as well. And this is that same area like we talked about, so you might be using 4 of those wash lights spread out along this area here, but doing the exact same thing back in here. And again, you get that reflective light that's going to help light up this darker barbecue area a little bit. Already talked about this area. I like that idea of the wash lighting. And then if I go to this area, we talked about this. And then back here, I would just throw 2 of those accent lights. I would accent light this guy, and I would accent light this guy, the same as we did with the other one over on this side. And then the other thing I would do is I would also use 2 of these accent lights behind the barbecue area. So I'd probably put them on these trees back here as much as possible. And I don't know if this is your property or not, but even if it's not, if there's nothing there and you can somehow get them behind the barbecue and have them shining there, behind the barbecue, to look really cool, because you have this lit, you've got the front rock wall lit, and then you've got these back bushes lit up, which would be a really cool look there. So and again, this area, because it's all lower lying shrubs, there's not really anything to backlight. This is where I would probably throw 1, 2, 3 of those path and area lights just to kind of help light up this area. So I'll put all those together in a kit for you based on those suggestions, and then have a look. Let me know what you think. And if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer those for you. Thanks, Mabel.
So I just want to show you, we're going to use our accent light a whole bunch in this property. And a lot of common areas we're going to use that is on some nice trees. We've got a really nice tree here that we're going to try and focus on. But one thing I see people do too often, or more times than not, is instead of trying to get that light nice and close to the tree and having it shine up, so you're taking advantage of all the barking structure and then all the branching up top, is they'll bring it far back and try and aim it at the tree. And what happens there is they tend to miss a lot of the lower portions of the trees. And then also when it, depending on the area you live in, if you start losing a lot of foliage in the wintertime, then having that light shine at all the foliage is kind of a waste of time, and you lose a lot of the effect of that light. That's why I like having it closer to the tree. Here we're maybe 12, 14, 18 inches away from the base, and we're going to have it shooting almost straight up, because I want to highlight all this trunking and branching structure as possible, as well as now we're getting that light up into the foliage and into the canopy. So again, with our standard RS uplight from FX Luminaire, there's lots of other good ones out there. I like this guy because it's a real workhorse, and that's what we're going to use on this project. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video presentation with some great tips and tools on how to go and properly and effectively light up your landscape. And be sure, if you want your own free consultation video, just send me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca with a few pictures of your property, and we'll get back to you with some really cool ideas and ways to go and effectively light your property. And be sure to watch the videos after this one for more tips on how to install landscape lighting, as well as how to light up your landscape the best way possible.